On a warm spring afternoon in London, the sun streamed through the tall windows of a luxurious office. Emma held tightly onto Adebayo's hand, her heart brimming with gratitude and love. He looked at her as if she was the only person in the world. "Emma," he said softly, "you've turned pain into strength and built something extraordinary. I'm so proud of you." She smiled, unable to hold back her tears. How did she get here? How did her life change so drastically from heartbreak to this moment of joy? A year ago, Emma's world had fallen apart. Her husband, Brian, came home one evening with a blank expression and a suitcase by the door. "Emma, this isn't working anymore," he said coldly. She froze, stunned. "What do you mean?" she asked, her voice trembling. "I found someone else. She makes me feel alive again," he replied. The someone else was Vanessa, a wealthy socialite who flaunted her money and influence. Brian had been charmed by her glamorous life and promises of an exciting future. Without looking back, he walked out, leaving Emma with their 3 daughters and no explanation for his betrayal. The weeks that followed were unbearable. Emma had to work twice as hard to support her daughters, juggling her job as a nurse while picking up extra shifts as a caregiver. She often cried herself to sleep but refused to let her daughters see her broken. Months later, a friend called her. "Emma, you won't believe this," she said. "Brian and Vanessa are throwing a huge engagement party." Hurt and humiliated, Emma decided she couldn't let them erase her like she didn't matter. Borrowing a stylish dress from a coworker, she mustered her courage and walked into the grand event uninvited. The room was filled with London's elite, all dressed to impress. Emma's simple yet elegant presence turned heads. Brian's smile froze when he saw her, and Vanessa's smug expression faltered. Emma walked straight up to them. "Brian," she began, her voice firm but calm, "you abandoned me and your daughters for this life. I hope it was worth it." The guests watched in stunned silence, and in the crowd stood Adebayo Adeyemi, Brian's boss. Adebayo, a successful Nigerian entrepreneur and CEO of a thriving tech company, had come to the event out of obligation. But now, his attention was fixed on Emma. Her grace, strength, and beauty captivated him. After the party, Adebayo couldn't shake the image of Emma from his mind. He reached out to her through a mutual acquaintance and invited her for coffee. "I don't want to intrude," he said gently, "but I'd like to help if I can." Emma was skeptical at first. Why would someone like Adebayo, a wealthy and powerful man, care about her struggles? But Adebayo wasn't like Brian. He wasn't arrogant or dismissive. He listened to her, respected her, and found small ways to ease her burdens, like connecting her with a better-paying nursing position and quietly covering her daughter's school fees. Over time, their friendship grew into something deeper. Adebayo admired Emma's resilience and devotion to her children, while Emma was drawn to his humility and kindness. When Adebayo proposed to Emma, it wasn't just to her. "Emma," he said, holding her hands tightly, "I love you and your girls. Let me be the father they deserve. Let me give you the life you've always deserved." Emma, overwhelmed with emotion, said yes. Adebayo didn't stop there. Recognizing Emma's intelligence and leadership, he encouraged her to join his company. "You have everything it takes to lead," he said. Within a year, Emma had risen to the role of CEO, transforming the business with her innovative ideas and empathy-driven management style. Meanwhile, Brian's relationship with Vanessa crumbled. Vanessa grew tired of him, and he found himself jobless when Adebayo uncovered shady practices in his work. Brian could only watch as Emma thrived in a life he had thrown away. Now, standing in her new office with Adebayo by her side, Emma felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Her journey hadn't been easy, but it had led her to love, purpose, and a future brighter than she had ever imagined. And as she looked into Adebayo's eyes, she knew she was exactly where she was meant to be.